Alright, what's up? I hardly was even gonna make a video, but I'm trying to just stay as consistent as possible. So I said, you know what, let me just force myself to make a little video. This week was pretty consistent. I trained extremely hard. I'm sore. I usually was taking off days, Wednesdays and Sundays, but I'll transition to just having two of them back to back. So Saturday, Sundays off, give me the weekends off, let me kind of move around, do stuff, hang out. Training, like I said, the intensity's been great. Really working on my back and my posing. And my body, how am I feeling about it? To be honest, it's in kind of a weird place. It's not tight. I don't look super big. I don't know. It's in like a weird place. And I guess this is just all part of the journey. I'm enjoying the ride. Very still excited to see what it's going to look like at the end of the day. But it's in kind of a weird place. Mentally, this week has been a little draining. You know, I'm usually one. I listen to feedback because I want to be my best, and but you want to know, one of the things I realized this week is you got to be really careful who you're getting your feedback from, even if it's old school dudes or guys that have been doing it for a long time. You got to remember that sometimes these guys are giving you advice, and it's like, bro, you've been doing that protocol that you're telling me to do for years. You come back to the gym looking the same every single year. No offense, you and I are not the same. We are not the same. Like, I go to the gym for a year. My transformations are fucking insane because of my intensity, because of my genetics, because of my focus, because of the time that I have to do it. And so somebody else, you know, also, you want to know another thing that people will do a lot too? They'll see me and they'll be like, yeah, you need to have bigger this, bigger that. And then I go look at NPC shows, and this is not a knock to any. I feel like I hate saying this shit. Like, you gotta apologize before, because somebody's gonna be fucking offended by anything you say. So fuck it. Anyway, you go look at these NPC shows, you're just like, dude, like, my physique is, you know, I'm not a judge or anything, but you just like look in the mirror, you're like, yeah, my physique shits on that. My posing's not as bad as that, you know. And it's like, no, I'm in the game. Like, I am above average. Do you want to know what I think people do with me a lot is, because my frame and because my potential is so high, they're always judging me based off of like the best guys. And it's a compliment, but then it's kind of a curse, because it could be a curse when guys are like, oh, you need more of this. And I'm like, wait, but all the guys on my level, which would be NPC, working their way to pro, it's like, no, I'm exceeding that. Like, I know I am exceeding that. But they're not. They're looking at the Brandon Hendersons, the Aaron Banks, the German Buendias, and they're like, yeah, you need a bigger this, you need a bigger that. And it's like, no, I mean, that took them 10 years to get. I've been bodybuilding since August. It hasn't even been a full year. So, like, you know, give me a minute to let my muscles develop and grow. Let me have a true off season. You know, I've definitely hit a plateau when I was bulking. And so I'm sure when I scrunch back down and get skinny, and when I throw this weight back on, I'm going to be able to get past that. And so it's just kind of how the body goes. And so it's like, yeah, let me have my time. But the main thing is, the point of me saying that is, like, you got to take all criticism and stuff like that with a grain of salt. And you got to look at the source. You know, is it somebody who's kind of hating on you, so they're telling you, oh yeah, you need bigger this, you need bigger that, or is it somebody who's like really looking out for you and is like, you know, you need to have this better if you're trying to compete with the top guys. You know, it's like, but it's baby steps to this, and it's definitely a process. So mentally, like I said, this week was a lot of opinions that I mostly didn't ask for, but it's okay, because I give my opinion. Sometimes people don't fucking ask for it. It's just who we are. I'm not mad at anybody for their opinion. It's just, I have to remember internally that it's like, bro, there's levels. You're on this level. You haven't got to that level yet. When I get to that level, then it's like, yeah, I need to really, really be fine tuning. But I see some of the pro guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the game. Like, my back's better than that. And I say it with confidence. I really do feel that way. And you don't believe it, or I don't care. It's nothing to do with me. But so that was kind of my week mentally. So basically, I'm just really focused on who I'm going to keep in my corner and allow in my space while I'm doing this prep. I don't need everybody's opinion close to me while I'm trying to really lock in on what I'm doing here. And man, the thing with this bodybuilding journey is, like, I'm not a quitter. I don't usually quit things. But there's been some times where I'm like, you know what, this shit ain't. I ain't even lie. There's been a couple times where I'm like, man, it's not even about the food. You want to know what it is for me? And it might sound like some sucker shit, but it's Instagram, bro. Like, it's Instagram for me. It's like, you really have to win the people. You have to win on Instagram. And for me personally, like, I hate it. Like, I can't. Like, I don't. What would be so much more exciting for me personally would be, no, you're not allowed to post anything until after your show. Like, that's, to me, is like, because there's so much more anticipation, there's so much less judgment, there's so much, but then there's no hype, then people aren't spending the money, and I get the business part of it, but I'm just like, guys are claiming winners before everybody steps on stage. You don't know who's hit peak, you don't know how guys are going to look like next to someone else, and it's just like, man, I'm looking at guys post right now that from the show this weekend, the Tri-City, and IFBB Pro Day, and everybody's like, he's going to win right now. It's not looking like he's going to win that show, and that's fine. He looks crazy still, but I'm looking at his comments on his stuff, and he's really won his people. He built a community of people who it seems like it doesn't matter who he goes against. His community is like, he's the best. He's going to win, and they really believe that. Like, you can't tell them. And there's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of money in that. It's very lucrative to be able to build that community. That's kind of what I'm working on right now, is, building a brand, building a community of supporters around me. But I'm still one of those people. It's like, if I don't show up right, I don't want to win or expect to win. I want the person who showed up looking the best to win. I always want that. Just because it's just kind of, because, as a true competitor, as much as I love to win, you don't want to be the person who wins, but then everybody else knows the guy in second place should have won, type of shit, because then it feels even worse. That, to me, that feels even worse. But yeah, Instagram, man, it's so much fucking work to learn. I give it up to the people who have mastered it and really understand the algorithm and put the time in, because it is time consuming. But it's something that I'm working on. I really would just rather my physique, like, for example, like the pictures, man. Like, I cannot take a picture of myself that replicates what I see in the mirror. I look at my body in the mirror, my width, my details, the size of me, and I'm just like, yeah, that. But then I take a picture of it, and I just don't understand. I don't understand how guys are getting these pictures of themselves that look so crazy. And so that's just all stuff that I'm learning, and I'll get there where I can show myself better, and display myself, and that also with my posing. Just that all just takes time, and it takes skill. I still hate it. I still don't like it. Hopefully that changes, and I come around and end up really learning to appreciate it, and I think I will. But right now, it's just it's the bane of my existence for sure. So like I said, this week, not really much to report. Pretty locked in. Stayed on plan perfectly. Obviously, I don't miss meals. It's hard to see the weight click down after you work so hard to get it up, but mentally, the week was a lot of opinions, a lot of shit I didn't ask for, but this is one of those sports where it's all it is opinions. So it's like bitching about it. Now it's one of those things you have to make that conscious decision. Like, yeah, I'm okay with the amount of opinions and critiques that I am going to get on the regular basis. That is what this is. This is a pageant. This is a physique pageant, and so it's definitely the nature of it. So there's no escaping it. But you can control who's in your immediate circle and the energy that you have around you while you're focusing on your goals. And that is more or less what I'm speaking of. It's like I have to really control that space so that I make sure I am focusing on becoming my best and not being pulled down because somebody else never met their best, reached their best potential. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing about the gym, man. Everybody knows the best way to grow lats. Everybody knows the best way to do back. Everybody knows the best way to do this and that. And then you look at them and it's just like, but bro, it don't matter if you think you know the best way. Look at you. Look at me. Look at you. Look at him. Stop. Like, everybody is going to grow different with different. You got to find what works for you. What works for somebody else may not work for you. It may not make you grow. And so that's more or less what I was getting at. And so I'll report back somewhere at the beginning of this week. This next week, we're starting week 11 prep. Still in a fill out stage. We're filling everything out. We're maximizing growth. Just getting these last centimeters of size that we can get anywhere. Really working on my lats a lot is where I'm working on my lats. Probably the most, and upper chest are my two main focuses. But besides that, it's all peace and love. There's Peanuts. She's Peanuts. Hey. She's chilling, being sweet like always. Sunday is my last off day. It's 10 o'clock. I'm making my last meal. 3 whole eggs, a bagel, it's in the air fryer, and 10 ounces of egg whites, which I usually drink. But yeah, just is like, I guess I'm doing a two-part snippet for this second half of the video for this week. Yeah, my mindset has been crazy this week for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'll be watching these pro shows and comparing myself so much or what, but the body dysmorphia, it's taking a hold of me this week, not gonna lie. Haven't really liked my physique the last couple check-ins. I don't like my gut the most. It's terrifying. Obviously in the morning I look way tighter and flat in the stomach area, but also not looking as full. There was a time when I was like 250 and I felt like I was leaner and I just looked so full and my chest was explosive, and just not really feeling the look right now. It's just part of it, you know, highs and lows. But yeah, that's pretty much how I've been feeling about that. And the mental is, you know, we just changed something for my, we just changed my cardio, and I get excited when there's like more stuff, another challenge. Every little thing that gets added, I get excited about it. It's just how I am. It's like, okay, cool, more cardio, let's fucking go. And I don't mind cardio at all. I chill. I watch Formula One. I lock in. I get on the Stairmaster, usually like level 7, and I am drenched. I'm like dripping sweat in 20 minutes. So we're gonna up that, and I'm excited about it. Start, I guess, leaning out. And that's that. I've also been dealing with this ailing arm injury that I've had for a couple years that's been beating me up pretty bad. It's one of the reasons why I stopped fishing so much. Just started going to the chiropractor for that. In fact, going there tomorrow for acupuncture and trying to figure this thing out so I can spread my lats open and lift my arms up without being in so much pain. But yeah, it's just, you know, I'm staying consistent, eating my food. I don't miss meals. So eating my food, working out really hard. I worked out really hard. I needed the days off. My body was very fatigued. And just, you know, I'm 11 weeks out now, so got my first week of prep down. But like I said, I've kind of been living a prep life, so it's not really much different. But, you know, obviously this is my first time going through it. There's levels to this shit, and I know there's gonna be a different time where I'm gonna feel a little different, maybe when I'm starving and whatnot. So, but right now I'm not starving, I'm full. So that's a little update. The body dysmorphia is completely taken over. Not feeling the way my physique looks right now at all. But I'll post some pictures of when I like my physique the most, how I feel like the best I've ever looked, personally, as far as being bigger. I'll post that. And yeah, today was a good day. Hung out at the park with you know who. Hung out with Peanut. She's not. Look at her. You tired, huh? Yeah, crazy day. Guess I usually spend my time outside, resetting. That's what we did. It was a good day, good weekend. Drove around in my BMW this weekend was the car I was in. It doesn't have any AC in it, so I gotta cruise in it like in the springtime and shit. Like once it hits consistent like 87 plus, it starts to be like, nah. Then I'll start driving my Mercedes that has AC in it. Not as fun to drive though, but still fly. Nevertheless, I will be back with another update some point this week. I'm trying, like I said, drop 2 videos a week with some updates on my posing, updates on my physique, updates on any changes that I'm making. This week we made some changes to the cardio. I'll be doing cardio 5 times a week instead of 4, and for 5 additional minutes. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see I can't wait to see how much weight I lose. Even though it's scary losing weight when you're a guy that struggled gaining weight and it took you so long to put that weight on, you're just like, and you see it every time you see a pound drop off, you just feel like you're getting smaller and smaller, but it's all part of it. I'm embracing all of it. So fix my ailing injuries, my achy body, and keep pushing forward, y'all. Keep y'all asses in the gym. Keep that processed food and that, there goes my bagel. Keep that processed food out your mouth, that candy and the liquor out your mouth, and put chicken and eggs in your mouth. So, peace and love. It's hard to pose without seeing it. What that look like without me seeing it?